Guys, how we doing? All right, so today, get the first page here. We're in our entrance slips. We're still writing and solving, not equations anymore. We're going to be using the same techniques to write your equations, but we're actually what's writing our inequality. So equations have one answer, okay? 7. The answer is 7. Whereas inequalities say, listen, there's a bunch of answers, but they're specific. Like, hey, it's anything bigger than 7. So 8, 9, 10. All right. We're also recognizing the or equal to. So it might be something where, hey, it can be 3 or less. So it can be 3, or it could be 2, or it could be 1 or 0 or -1 there. So we're taking our knowledge of our writing our equations as I get myself to our lesson number 13 here. But we're going to use that with our knowledge of our inequalities as well. All right, so write an inequality. Okay, so inequalities, those are your less thans, greater thans, less than or equal to, and then greater than or equal to. So again, we've got technically 4 of them in a way. All right, equals. I guess we'd throw that in there. But typically when they say inequality, that's what you're going to be using. You're not going to see an equal sign that's in there. Wait, so let's see what we got going here today. We want Blake here. Is at most, all right, at most 2 meters above sea level. So the most it's going to be is 2. If that's the most, which means that's the biggest it can be. Your inequality here, your inequalities, we'll start off with an X because we're saying, hey, talking about the number here. Here it's going to be less than or equal to 2. Because the saying is, hey, 2 is the most it can be. It can be 0. It could be 1. All right. It could be 1.5. All right. But the most it can be is 2. So we want everything that's smaller than 2. And also because it can be 2, that's why we got the or equal to. Let's look at part B here. Ethan must read for a minimum of 20 minutes. Minimum. That means that's the smallest it can be is 20 minutes. So we say X here is going to be greater than or equal to 20. And the explanation behind that is a minimum 20. It can be 20. So because it can be, it gets the or equal to. But that's the smallest it's going to be. So I'll take numbers like 30, 40, 50. All right. Those are all what he can end up reading for. But hey, the smallest that can be is 20. So really visualizing the number line is kind of what we're after to do here. All right, so part C, we got Travis here. He's milking cows. He's never gotten less than 3 gallons of milk. However, he always gets less than 9 gallons. Okay, so the way the order is written out and the description of it, we really got to focus in on those vocabulary words here. So he's never gotten less than 3. He's never gotten less than 3. So he's never gotten anything smaller. So even like a number line here to kind of help you out. So we're at 3. He's never gotten less than 3. All right, so nothing on that side ever. He's never gotten less than 3. Has he gotten 3 before? Yeah, he has. All right. So 3 is good. However, he always gets less than 9. So when we look at the 9, it's always smaller than 9. Always smaller than 9. So that tells us is hey, he's never getting something over here. It's stuff that's going on in between here. Okay. So what we've got here is 2 inequalities, but we're actually going to write them out as 1, and that's referred to as a compound inequality. So things that we're going to do here, all right, because we've got them in order from least to greatest, when I write out my inequality, I'll also put them in order from least to greatest. So when I say that, I mean, hey, I'm going to put the 3, we're going to put the X in the middle, and we're going to put the 9 at the end. And now we're going to put our inequalities in between there. So I know it needs to be less than 9. Okay, so I know x has to be less than 9. Now, the issue here is it's actually reversed. When we read inequalities, letter first, number second. But now here, the number's first, which is going to kind of cause us to read it backwards in a way. Now, again, he's never gotten less than 3. So he's never gotten less than 3. So has he gotten 3? Yes, he has. Has he gotten more than 3? Yes, he has. So if I'm reading it backwards, I need an x and then greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit. One of the ways when we write out our inequalities, if we just wrote them out as 2 separate ones, we would have written out x is greater than or equal to 3, and we would have written out that x is less than 9. So what we want you to notice here is they're both there, the x and then the symbol and then the 9. That's what's going on over here. So you can see it right there. Now this guy, the x is greater than or equal to 3. If you notice it, it's there, but isn't it in the opposite order? Yeah, when you flip your inequalities, you're going to end up flipping your symbol as well. Let me rephrase that. When you flip your terms, the x and the 3, you also have to flip your inequality as well. So think about it. If you say that 1 is greater than 0, but then you switch the order around, well, you're also going to have to switch your inequality as well, saying that 0 is now less than 1. Something we'll spend time talking about there. The compound ones, yeah, there's a little bit more going on. It takes a little bit more to get used to. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take that knowledge and we're going to blend it in with our equations. So we've got Sean here. He's earning $7.55 per hour plus an additional $100 in tips for waiting tables on Saturday. He earned at least $160 in all. So we know he got at least $160. Write an inequality to find the minimum number of hours, nearest hour, Sean worked on Saturday. Okay, so he earned at least 160. So did he earn more than 160 or less than 160? Well, if the least it was 160, we know it's going to be greater than or equal to 160 because that's the least it was. Could be more, all right, but we know we got at least 160. 7.55 per hour. We've seen this enough with our solving of our equations that we know it's going to be a multiplication problem. And then, but plus, he's got an additional $100 in tips. All right. So we want to know how many hours is it taking him to get to that dollar amount. There's your equation there. So we're going to subtract 100 from both sides. You're going to get 60 greater than or equal to the $7.55 x. Divide both sides by $7.55. All right, we're going to plug that on into your calculator. So $60 divided by the $7.55. Yo! All right. All right. So let's go interpret the answer here. Oh, sorry, as I try to close the window on you. We'll minimize it there. All right. To the nearest hour. Find the minimum number of hours to the nearest hour. So because we've got that 7.9 blah 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 blah, we want to try to get at least. So again, nearest hour. Okay, so that means if he wants to get at least we've got the nearest hour, that would bump us up to 8. All right, because 7 wouldn't be enough. But 8 would. So round it to the nearest hours. He's gonna have to work at least 8 hours to make that money. All right. So there we go. Lesson 13 here. All right. Again, taking your knowledge, starting with your inequalities, and blending them together with your equations that we're spending time with there. We'll talk to you later.